Hey! Hello, Mark?
Hello,
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin,
Mark.
and you're watching and are listening to episode 369 of DangIT Prodcast. Almost forgot, even though I've been looking at that title screen for a little bit. But, Mark, how are you doing?
Doing better, doing better.
Doing better. That's good to hear. So, thank you guys again for tuning in for another episode of the podcast.
As I'm
Just kind of
loved
giving
by a sausage dog.
usual like updates on how things have been going this past week. I've been kind of riddled with overtime. We're actually a little unavailable, short staffed. But that's reasonable. So that's been kind of taking over my week and has changed my perspective just a little bit. But then you have to go through like an entire like mind reset to be realize like, okay, that's work isn't the entirety of your life. So just
How long
do.
have I been telling you this?
What was that?
How long have I been telling you this?
Um, since whenever I brought it up.
So a few times.
Right. But here I made the initiative to make sure not to do that. So, thank you.
I'm getting loved by a sausage dog.
Aw, that's so cute. Some cute doggos last night. We had Seppi coming to the neighborhood. Um Only really available like in the evening, like after I got off from work. Um it was essentially just going to be like a very simple hangout. She was going to be going into like a different place later on for a wedding, so that's where she is currently. But last night we all kind of hung out. Myself, Gabe, Anaya, Christoph, and Sephi, and
I was not there.
right, for some reason Mark wasn't there. The fuck. I thought you were better.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but the meeting happened 3 hours ahead, or late, or yeah, later.
I'm sorry, but your geographical location is not anywhere near me.
Mm. it's, it's well, Gabe was actually there for like a little bit, and I'm
You
glad that
participate in the paper.
yeah, he was in your time zone for a little bit, but I know that it was good that Gabe was able to jump in on this hangout as well, since he's only available until like the end of the month, which actually we're halfway through July too. Sheesh.
For
But
but you guys went to an escape room, correct?
yes, we did. That was all Anaya's idea. He got the idea like from a coworker of his. And I guess apparently like he was supposed to invite her, but then there was some like weird time scheduling issues. So essentially it was just Anaya bringing it up to us, and we all just went as a group minus the coworker. But
So the coworker was the initial idea, but the coworker
yeah.
the coworker just kind of didn't end up in
Yeah,
the equation at all.
it was the spark, but that was it.
Hey, at least they served a purpose.
They were the match to ignite it, and then the match was immediately like tossed away.
They were the drill that pierced the heavens.
It was the button to turn on the drill. The drill did everything else.
Exactly.
But
So did you
shout out
guys
to
escape?
Naya for giving out the idea of doing an escape room, because it actually was like a lot of fun. Just kind of taking you into that like mindset of, I mean, obviously like the whole thing's like kind of a team bonding type of thing. But the elaboration of like details in what you're doing and the environment that you're dealing with kind of brought it all into like kind of a fictional type of place. But I really enjoyed it, despite me not actually doing a lot.
I was going to say, so who was most useful? Who was most useless?
Okay, so I would say I was probably the most useless because
F.
I in that dynamic, it's not DangIT Productions, it's just the group. And for me personally, I don't really speak out too much in the group, like in a normal setting. In
It's
this
true. You're soft
case,
spoken.
Yes, and Gabe is pretty much the one to proactively go out and just try something, and also speak out at the same time. Um, it was him and Christoph, I feel, that like really worked together well on that. Like Gabe would initiate conversations, and there was also Christoph who was also separate like from us, working on a different side. So I think the two of them together worked really well. Steffi helped a good amount too, and I feel like Anaya and I are kind of on the same side where it's like we kind of tried. I shined the
So
light.
basically, there were three that were big brain. There's two that were like, I mean, I don't know, man.
We just took the credit on the project. Nah, it's just it's weird, but I kind of just let things kind of go with the flow of it because I could try to interject, but for the most part, like when I'm looking at the puzzles that they were presenting me in the escape room, I couldn't really make heads or tails faster than those guys can. I remember like specifically there's a really shouldn't like give away too much, but a lot of it deals with locks and stuff like that, whether it be like dials or actual like spinning dial ones or just like directional like lock
Oh,
ones.
you mean a combination lock?
Those are, yeah, combination locks, and then I guess the dial is just like you're up and down like in a certain sequence. I looked at that one and I was slowly piecing together like how to solve that particular lock, and then that's when Christoph was like right behind me and he was reading out the combinations that we got a clue of, and Gabe immediately walked into that and I immediately just like let my hands go on that one. I was like, he can do it. Because I was looking at that, I was like, not like from face value, I can't really picture exactly what I need to do. But then when I saw him do it and Christoph kind of giving the verbal instructions on like what to do with it, I was like, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, but
Christoph helps simplify it.
yeah. So aside from shining a light, I would also just kind of like point directions to like key things of interest. But yeah, it was still fun, like all the same. And then after the escape room, well, I guess there was some other things about the escape room. There was like a leaderboard too, as far as like the time in which it would take you to solve it. And I
How'd you
think
do?
so apparently um we were kind of close. I think we solved it in like 43 minutes. And apparently it was one of the harder like or the hardest challenge there. But the person like the people who beat us to it had like the timing's kind of weird in how they laid it out. I think it was like they had 35 minutes remaining. So I think they did like a little bit more than like us, like in a short amount of time. So we didn't make it to the leaderboard of the top five, but we were there, close, close. But it was interesting. I liked the layout of it. I was
They managed to escape.
right. I know that I was kind of hesitant too because like when they were talking about like, I mean, granted you get to sign a waiver and everything like that, and
Did they actually make you sign a waiver?
yeah, it's just signing a waiver because like like people can get like a little anxious because like they have to set things up like put you in a blindfold. They're gonna handcuff you for the whole scenario to make it work, but that's it. Like there's no like other thing that's gonna happen to you,
What was
but
the
it's
scenario?
it's 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 the fear. The fear kicks in like no matter what.
Oh, I see.
So if like it was one of those things where like if you do feel like really uncomfortable, here's the waiver. Like if you're agreeing to just kind of let like stuff like that like happen for the sake of like the escape room experience, then there you go. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it, especially like with a close group of friends or family. It's just it's a good way to interact and do a lot of critical thinking together, and it really does kind of test like where you guys are at with that. And
Mhm.
one of the comments that the dude gave out to us was the fact that like we never really stopped talking. Obviously, I'm kind of like equated out of that, but but they, which was like usually Gabe, Christoph, and Sephi and Naya throwing in commentary, very colorful commentary. Yeah, never stopped talking. So and that's was super helpful in just kind of continuing to work like or pick at like a problem So it was definitely
Because
good.
since no one's shutting up, they're letting out all their ideas.
Yeah, because obviously there's a little bit of banter here and there, but there's also like, oh, like hurry and put this right here. Let's put thing on here. So I like how everything was set up. I was really looking at like the walls and stuff, trying to figure out like what do they mean specifically, because usually they won't just like mark it like that, not just for the setting, but also it has some kind of type of meaning, which they also kind of like outline saying like maybe not pay attention to everything. I know that for me personally, like I was looking at like an object and there was no note on it, and I felt like it was something I would probably need. But I looked around the room, there didn't seem to be any application for it. There was just like a handle on it, so I was thinking maybe there is something for it, but turns out there wasn't. So just be mindful and just look at the clues that are presented to you, and when in doubt, hopefully the people who are running it will actually help you if you do get stuck. But I have a feeling that we might have to do like the next sequential like escape room following after that, because they got like a series of different ones laid out. So I think we might do that like sometime in the future. But yeah, after that we went for boba. At least I contributed to that. That was my idea.
Getting some bubble tea.
We get boba, and so it was great. Like obviously, like boba's great, but
Never had
um,
it personally.
it's it's interesting because I'm trying to remember when I got into it. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it was just one of those days where I was able to just try it, like hanging out with like I think like my cousins and whatnot. Maybe that was when it happened, and I was like, oh, this is actually like different. Yeah, I'll try some more. And I just ended up loving it.
What
But
is this drink that has balls in it?
tapioca balls,
Tapioca pearls.
yes. So I mean, obviously that was nice, but we were able to like drink outside, and we um then just start to elaborate on Christoph's idea for D&D. We're actually having a session of that, like session 0, which is just kind of like establishing everything. A little bit later today after the podcast, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if Christoph's going to be streaming that or not, but whether he does that or not, it's still going to be like a really fun experience. It's going to be my first time jumping into it, and I hope to learn a little bit more about it and see if I want to continue on that path of doing like a Legend of Zelda like crossover with D&D, but not like homebrew per se, but not absolutely outright like ignoring it, but somehow like integrating the game with it. I don't know how to even approach that because I have no perspective of like how D&D runs. I just recently, like this past week, just been learning like certain rules, or at least how to build your character. And I'm trying to like in the background just kind of translate that into like how you play through Breath of the Wild normally. So it's interesting. I don't know if
Game's a
it's
lot
gonna.
more complicated than you thought, isn't it?
It is a lot more complicated. Like there's different classes, and this is completely not even talking about like homebrew stuff, but just um the fact that there are like rules and there are moves and classes along the way that aren't just like all made up. It's just kind of like set in stone already. You just have to go find it. But shout outs to Christoph for kind of helping alleviate some of that. He's gonna do that a little bit more so during our session 0. But there's a website called D&D Beyond that if you just make your account, that's free. You or use your Google account or whatever, and you're able to just kind of build your character like with a nice little guide to kind of show you like, okay, this is like if you choose this class, this is what you're like given as far as like added points to your stats, or like what abilities come with this if you choose like this trait or something like that. So it's it's elaborative, and but I like the guide for it. So I did a little bit of that I think Thursday or something like that, and I was building my total OC, totally not Link, Chonk,
Chomp.
and he's kind of ready. He's kind of ready.
What is
Otherwise,
he?
he's just, I mean, he's not Link, but he's Link.
Oh, is he an elf?
He's half elf.
Okay.
I was gonna say like, well, I feel like with elves, like obviously they live a very long time, but for Link, he's not like that, but he is like Hylian. So I felt that like maybe like half of that would work out, despite them still having a very lengthy age. Link himself just seeming to be like normal standards. Granted, in Breath of the Wild, he is 100 and whatever he is adult, but that is true actually. Maybe I shouldn't rule that out, but yeah. So yeah, he is half elf. Otherwise, I was thinking like halfling, just something to give him the pointy ears. But I remember that halflings are very, very short, and I was like, I don't want to disrespect my guy like this. He's short, but like not that short.
What does he fight with?
So right now I just kind of equipped him with like a shield and like a short sword because that's just kind of like has his character. But
Yeah.
Kristoff was elaborating on me being a ranger, which I'm actually kind of into. I was like, wait, that's right. Like it is like aside from the sword and shield, like Link has all the other weapons, but the bow is literally the second like best thing. So right now like he's already kitted with like a crossbow, but I might go back into it and see like if like a standard bow can work for now. Otherwise maybe yeah, okay, maybe like a crossbow, but yeah, so that's kind of where I'm going with that. um Chonk here is supposedly just like a lone traveler. That's kind of like his background on things, and like as a result, that's how he's kind of acquired like a good sense of like I guess like I guess maybe battle strategy doing a little bit more intuition because he like explores. He's just curious, generally speaking. No particular purpose like or goal in mind. He just kind of wanders because he just likes to do that. But I know that Kristoff also suggested that we have like a backup character in case something happens to our
In
main
case your
character.
character dies.
In case your character kicks the bucket. Um,
Well,
and
roll a new character.
roll new character. Unfortunately, I only have like the one. I know that Gabe like literally has an entire firm of accountants that are replacing.
It's literally just a bunch of Peters.
And you know, going back into the conversation like at the plaza they were in last night, it was really just kind of like back and forth arguing of Gabe wanting to play as Peter the horse, but Kristoff not moving like an inch for this.
Who is Peter the horse?
You haven't seen the Discord convo over that? But essentially, it's
I
just
I saw some of it.
yeah. Oh, okay. Essentially, Gabe really wants to play as a horse, specifically a horse. Um,
Oh, that I remember now.
yeah, but like Kristoff saying that like, well, horses are kind of like either fays or familiars, one of those two, but can't really be like like a playable thing. And
Yeah,
Gabe
because
just
the
like
closest thing you could do is a centaur.
yeah, but like Kristoff's not moving an inch for that. But Gabe can play as Peter, the human accountant, and maybe have Peter just full horse as a companion that only shows up here and there. But Gabe doesn't want that either. So it's gonna be interesting to see them go back and forth during session 02 or just throughout
That's
the
gonna be
campaign.
hilarious. That's gonna be hilarious.
I was thinking though, now that I just remember exactly the conversations, um, we were talking about diversity of the classes because we got like 7 people, 2 to 3 familiars that are gonna just be there on like any kind of battle scenario, but not a lot of like healing units. So I know that Anaya has an idea of that. I was bringing up the idea like, what if I was also an alchemist or leaning towards that? Because I think alchemy is cool, but also I like the idea of just chucking like potions at people and having that shatter on them, and that's healing them.
I mean,
Kristoff's,
you could learn cantrips like healing word.
Also, I think Kristoff brought up the idea of healing arrows. I was
Healing
like, I was like,
arrows.
I can do it. Love
You heal
hurts.
someone. You heal someone by hitting them with an arrow that also is medicine.
Have you ever seen Zatch Bell?
Yes.
Oh my god. Who was the it wasn't Megumi. It was literally the her other like her friend, her ally who uh
Do you remember they had the cards and they had the little books for them too?
yes, the spell books.
Yeah, I
And
got one of those. I actually had one of those.
oh really? Do you
Yeah, because they
know
sold them at Target.
oh really? Do you know what color book that was?
The one that I had,
Yeah.
it was black.
Who was that? Was that Bravo?
It was the guy that had the ice one, I think.
Oh yeah. I remember him. But yeah, there's that one like female like character who does like the defense and healing spells, and one of them like I remember this. This was like after like a fair bit of like not seeing them, they come back, and then the plot twist is that they have this gigantic, what seemingly offensive like blade appear, and they turn to Zatch and they chuck at him, and we're like, oh, but he heals. We were like, oh, thank God.
There was okay. It was for a good purpose.
God, I miss Zatch Bell. Like, I forget what happened. Um, I think I stopped watching after like one of the episodes where you find out in this alternative world that they are temporarily in, that the kids can use their spell books on their own. And there was a whole bit like with Bravo being like, "I don't need you, Sherry," and he like walks off, and there was like some drama in there. But I just remember that. But I think
He's just trying to act like Paul from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
funny you mentioned that. Oh yeah, just finish my thought. Yeah, no, I think that they stopped doing the dub for Zatch Bell, and I think that's why I dropped off of it. So I might have to find like a way to like watch like the sub version just to finish the rest of it.
There's still Zatch Bell video games.
There are Zatch Bell video games. Any new ones though?
I don't think there's anything in recent times, but I know for a fact there's some you could probably get on the Dolphin emulator.
Sure, right? Yeah, I remember that there was a 2D fighter Zatch Bell, and I thought that was like the coolest shit because you pretty much you're playing two characters at once. And I remember like Kyo would be taking his Zatch and he'd like chuck him up in the ground and he would do like a down like Zaker, and I was like, whoa,
That cool. That cool.
that's cool. And he has like the ultimate, which is like the Bowser Kaga, and I was like, whoa. Oh,
I mean,
man,
back there's even a Rave Master game,
I bet.
which was
Like
like, oh wow, I didn't realize Hiromushima got a game for Rave Master. I didn't realize that was the thing.
that's cool. But oh shoot, what was I gonna say? I think oh it was because we were stemming towards another show, right? Um, Mark, do you remember? I was
Which show?
it was after we were talking about Zatch Bell and we were talking about the
Oh,
game, but
Pokemon
then
Diamond and Pearl.
yeah, Paul from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I had for some reason, I think it's because of the fact that like Don's coming back to Pokemon Journeys right now, like in the sub version. I think the dub will catch up later, but Don gets like an appearance, but not Serena. But anyway, Don's coming back for like
Where's the love for May? Where is the love for May?
ah she was there like she was there during the Diamond and Pearl like phase just for a little bit, right? Because Don like shares kind of like a similar dream as May, and I remember Don had to fight for that like second ribbon by fighting against May, and that was just kind of like that was a one thing. And I remember that was like another sequence in which Paul like criticizes on Ash because he sees him on TV doing what the fuck ever like in this Pokemon contest. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Paul's like, I don't know, man. It's kind of gay.
No, I think. Oh, you know what? This is why like Paul is such like a great rival for Ash is because of the fact that like they, personality wise, they conflict each other in the like throughout.
Complete polar opposites.
Right. I know that Ash had like an issue with Paul's like methods. The
I
fact
think everyone has an issue with Paul's methods.
yeah, and I guess not just methods, but also his attitude toward it too. in the sense that like like when they did the tag battle stuff, they won, but for Paul, like the reward and everything didn't matter. He just wanted to like train up his Pokemon. And I remember specifically that Paul's criticizing Ash for like the contest stuff, and Ash was like, "The fuck? No, like I'm doing this so like I could get my Pokemon to train better." And Paul's like, entering a competition just so like not for the prize per se, but just so your Pokemon get better. Where have I heard this before?" And I was like, "Damn, dude, Paul, you right." Ash, your logic's flawed.
I mean, and don't forget, can we ever truly forgive Paul for what he did to Chimchar?
We can never do that. Like we can never like forgive him for that, especially if he never like apologizes for it.
That was messed up with Chimchar, dude.
But I think
Poor Chimchar.
I think the ultimate takeaway that you need to get from that was the fact that Infernape won, like despite all like the circumstances, the fact that Paul had given up on Chimchar at that point, feeling that there was absolutely
Ash adopted him.
yeah, yeah. So I think at that point, like Paul stopped believing in Chimchar's like abilities with Blaze and everything like that. And so from that point on, he never saw Chimchar as anything better than like how he had got to him at that point.
You're
So
thinking like that's all he's ever gonna be.
right. So when Infernape goes in and defeats Electivire in the final like 1v1 there, that definitely speaks volumes to like the potential that Infernape at that point like had.
That Paul couldn't bring out of him.
Exactly. And as a result, that also changes like Paul like um his perspective on Chimchar at that point, as well as like his impressions on Ash, especially since like Ash actually won with the same team that he got dusted with, like in the first like 6-on-6 that they had. So I think that
I
at
know.
the
I know
end,
Paul had an. I know Paul had an Ursaring.
yeah, that Ursaring was so broken. I have no
It
idea
was so
why he like
mean.
I don't know why he benched that one.
It was also so mean.
He was fierce, but like when Reggie's like just taking care of all Paul's Pokemon, they're all chummy, they're all nice. But
He's gotta show them who's boss.
this is true because I mean I think every single like Pokemon on Paul's team had to like really like tighten up because otherwise like they would be let go. Except for Torterra. Torterra just kind of stays.
Does he have a Torterra?
Yeah, that's his first Pokemon actually, and
Oh, he
it's
got a Turtwig.
yeah. So, and I think Torterra is the one he's most lenient with because I remember that when Ash was trying to have like another like session to fight Paul, his Turtwig evolves into Grotle, and the whole premise of Ash's Turtwig was that he was super fast for a turtle, and when he evolves, he loses all that, and Ash cannot adapt to that. And so it takes a Torterra in the dead of night to summon this Grotle and say, like, hey, listen, you gotta remember you're big, you're a unit. You can't be running around places anymore because you can't.
You're not as fast as you used to be, man.
Right. And so after that, Grotle gets the inspiration. Torterra, like, goes off into the forest and meets up with Paul. Paul's like, it looks like you're having fun. And there was that was it.
Tor.
And Paul just kind of gives him, like, the, oh, whatever. Let's just do whatever.
What were you off doing? Tor.
But Paul knew that like Torterra was just simply helping like at that point. But even though like Paul would probably view that as like it was worthless, but I think he like pretty much respects Torterra like as his starter. To just kind of let him do what he wants to.
It's like you're the original. You can do it.
You're the real one. That was such a cool thing though. Going farther back when they first met Cynthia and Paul like just out in the streets walks up and says, I want to battle you, champion Cynthia. and like it was obviously like everyone versus Garchomp. Everyone versus Garchomp. Torterra eventually falls, but it does pick up like a really good fight with the Giga Drain just kind of out of nowhere. So that
I mean,
was definitely.
we all know that her Garchomp is broken.
Oh yeah, it's not the video game. It's just like that Garchomp period.
In any game where you fight Cynthia, that Garchomp.
Ooh, look at this nice little resort home. I wonder who's home. Boom, bling, 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 bling. Oh no.
Ooh.
Ah, let me out.
Let me out of here.
God, Cynthia's a problem. God, that Lucario with Earthquake is, stone. But
what is Garchomp even weak to? Isn't it ice?
Yeah, he's part of the Dragon Ground category.
Isn't ice like his biggest weakness?
Yeah, it's the biggest weakness for him. Because that's a quadruple weakness there. There was a lot of Dragon Ground types, for sure. And unfortunately, we had a legendary that was Dragon Ground too, but we don't talk about Zygarde's initial form.
Do we talk about Zygarde inside the cave in Sword and Shield?
Oh, he's broken. Like it doesn't matter. Like when you have ice on you.
Disgusting.
It's a menace. It's like the single most like difficult like Pokemon to deal with.
Took us forever to catch him.
Or to whittle down that health like all the way when he's bombarding you with like area of effect attacks to everyone.
It's a good thing we had protection moves.
Protection move like Wide Guard.
Wide Guard came in clutch.
I think that like maybe a flying like Pokemon would also help out too, but we didn't have that. So
I know Jordan came in clutch with those Wide Guard moves.
He was doing so well, but like I forget what happened, but like I think the CPU knew like, okay, we gotta take care of this like fighting Pokemon specifically.
That Hitmonlee was coming in majorly clutch.
You're a problem. And then after that, it was just like one by one, we were like taken down. The worst.
So much pain.
If we all just waltzed in there with oops, all Articuno, we would have won.
Easy money.
The worst. Oh man. Wait, do you remember when the Diamond Pearl remakes are coming out? Is it in like October?
It's sometime in fall, I know that much.
Sometime in fall. Okay. Yeah, I guess we have like a ways away from like the Diamond Pearl remake. And then of course, Legends. I'm really looking forward to seeing anything more from Legends.
Yep, Legends, there's a lot of stuff going on there.
You could free aim and throw that Pokeball. Like, what?
Yeah, yep.
Yo.
And there's a lot more in video game news right now.
Oh, really?
Considering the Steam Deck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks for reminding me. That was the thing that happened, right? So, if you were considering getting the OLED version of the Switch, if you're just a new like owner, then yeah, that'd be a great thing. But Steam did release their Steam
Switch Pro.
Deck, the Switch Pro, essentially. You know, except with Nintendo, like with no Nintendo games, but you know everything else though, you're good. I've seen a little bit of footage of like people like playing on it, and as far as I've seen, I've only seen Hades. I've seen a bit of Doom, like Eternal, which actually runs pretty well for that. I was like, okay, that looks like 60 frames.
It's about as strong as a PS4.
Yeah, they were saying like specs like wise, it's like an Xbox One X or like the PlayStation 4 Pro or just PlayStation 4.
And that, in that regard, that being a handheld is very impressive.
It's pretty impressive. It also has a dock, so
it does have a dock.
It has a dock, so you can like plug it into a monitor and like use like keyboards and stuff like that for that too. So,
and if they were to choose to, well, hello, if they were to choose to put an external GPU inside the dock, that would increase the power even further.
I think you could do that, yeah, because we already have that for some PCs.
Yeah, and
So
essentially, then it already is this. It's essentially just a mobile computer.
yeah, which I think is
You can download Windows 10 on it or Windows
you can
11.
you can download Windows 10 on it. Holy shit, and it will
You can
function
download
just like that.
any third party thing. It's a computer.
It's pretty good. It could actually be like that the emulator machine.
Oh yeah. Oh, without a doubt,
This
people are gonna put so many emulators in that thing. I can already tell.
yeah. I know that like base price it's like 400. Yeah, it's $400.
That's for the
Uh
smallest version.
yeah, with the 64 gigabytes like internal memory. But of course you can expand the storage with like external stuff. Micro SD specifically. Um
They've got bigger. Like I think
yeah, they got different models.
the most expensive at 600 is like 500 some gigabytes.
Yeah, something like that. So I would say like honestly just get the external and just not worry about load time stuff. But yeah, now that you mentioned like the whole emulator, well, now we brought up like the whole emulator machine possibility. Like, yeah, I could see a little bit more value because I was just thinking like it is like I guess if you don't have like this crazy ass setup of like dual like PC stuff, I need to update that PC by the way. Then you could totally use like this Steam Deck as like in pretty much a console if you want to. If you already have like a PC.
I mean, you can pretty much use it as a computer.
Yeah, that's true too. That's
Not only
crazy.
that, take this into example. I mean, you can play Fallen Order on the go.
Wait, what was that?
You can play Jedi Fallen Order at 60 frames per second
That
in in good graphics.
yeah, I saw that. I was like, ooh, 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 ooh. So
it,
smooth.
it's using the same chip that the Series X and PS5 use.
Is it the same chipset? I didn't even see it, but okay.
Uh-huh.
That's
Uh-huh.
pretty good. Not gonna lie, that's pretty good.
And I'm just like, Nintendo, you done got caught slipping.
Yeah, that's the problem. Now, like, this is almost a direct attack on the Switch. I think it'll help like make good competition. It's just that like you hate to see it on Nintendo's side.
Also, apparently they announced it 2 hours before the OLED pre-orders went live.
Oh yeah, like how can you do that? I mean,
That
obviously
was
you kind of have to, but like
that was planned.
yeah, they planned out like, hey yo, like listen, we had this project in the back. We heard things like some news about Switch Pro, right? We don't care about that. We're just gonna wait. Just wait for it. Here comes the OLED. It's like, oh, here it is. Here it is. Just wait for it. Wait until the pre-orders, and then we're gonna announce it. We may not have Nintendo games, but we got everything else except for Ratchet and Clank. But that we have everything else.
Yes.
They technically they have Guilty Gear Strive on that. Like, damn. Ooh. It would probably run really well there too. Damn. So good. You can also play Scarlet Nexus on that. Damn. Although I'm really curious as far as like how it feels because they have like the trackpad like on both sides, right?
I think.
Yeah. It's interesting how like it looks. It obviously looks like well those Game Gears way back when. But they have like the D-pad, they have like the sticks. It's the format's like a PlayStation controller, like where the D-pad's like on the top and the circle pads are like on the bottom. They have like the Xbox colored like button layout for XYBA, and then they have like some customizable button like maps in the back, like 4 of them in total. So that's actually pretty nice. I think it. Ooh, yeah. It's one of those things where it's like I know that they said that they were going to try to work on like I guess cross progression or even to a certain like point like pausing a game on one and then continuing on the other, whether it be like your home PC and then connecting it your account to like the Steam Deck, which
I'm sure it's possible.
It's definitely possible, but like it's kind of crazy to think that to try to make it like as seamless as that, like woo. I mean, we've seen that with like Google like Stadia, for example, I believe, just like with different like devices. But it's crazy.
That and of course the giants of MMORPGs right now being Final Fantasy 14.
Ooh, I didn't even consider that. You could play it on Steam. I mean, granted, you could also play it on PlayStation, but you know. But
Xbox version was supposed to come out. No idea what happened with that.
was there going to be a Xbox version? I
There
have no
was
idea,
going to
man.
be. Don't know what happened.
I'm sorry, Mark. Make it be like it is, but do.
But like I said earlier, it's sold so much that it's sold out digitally, which I have never heard of.
It's sold out digitally. And apparently there's a fair good reason for that. I don't remember what it is from the top of my head, but it deals with just like not having like specific like licensing codes for it. Because each game would have like its own like unique one. So the
They
fact that
ran out.
they ran out is like, whoa, dude.
Like we keep like a million of them just in case. And we sold all of them. I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, what? Because that's probably a process with itself to like assign a certain like key for it, and maybe from the get go, like, oh, you know, it's super popular, so why don't we just give it like, well, I don't know, maybe like 100 million units. 100 million units later, we're sold out. What do you
I'm
mean?
sorry.
Yeah, we need
And
more codes.
we've got a backlog of about another 100 million on top of that.
Oh my god, that's crazy to hear. Because like I think the whole thing is that like with digital, not only do you get to like on launch day just play it early before anyone else, but the fact is that whether things get scarce or not, like you can download it like relatively easily versus trying to find seek out like a physical. And now it doesn't matter.
I mean, not only that, it's also the fact that they increased the level cap on the free trial, and they included another expansion in the free trial.
Oh really? So like I remember like a while back they had an offer where you could like level up to level 60. Is that the same
Yeah,
thing or they
that's the current cap.
Oh really? Because sworn maybe no maybe that was a deal where it's like you can level up to level 60. I was just assuming that maybe it would also be like this additional update would like increase it like even further, maybe even twice as much. But okay, just checking on that. I was I was thinking like I remember that the Switch has like as far as RPG stuff, has a demo for Dragon Quest 11 that's like 200 hours long, right? Something like that. And I
That's
was
a lot of
thinking
game for a demo.
it's a lot of game for a demo. It makes you think like, isn't that kind of a steal? But apparently, not so much. I never really jumped into that to figure that out. It'd be cool to see if someone like literally just got first time speed run through the game. I'm pretty sure they could beat the game, but like as far as completion, probably not. But interesting. Still need to get into that game. You'll, I'll eventually.
Oh, eventually, for sure. Also, apparently, I double checked. Final Fantasy 16 is a timed exclusive.
Is a time exclusive?
Yeah, I looked it up. I was like, I
Well,
was like, not all hope is lost.
wait, because what was it? The announcement for 16 saying it was for PlayStation 5, and then little context, don't worry, it's coming to PC later. So do you mean by that, or are you talking about like console?
It says that it says non-console will come first within 6 months, and then within 12 months, then it can come to other platforms.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that's where I was like, yes,
Switch version, let's go.
Switch explodes.
Switch explodes. That's solid 15 frames. Playable, right? But
I mean, there is still no Switch version of Kingdom Hearts.
right? That's so
Oh,
weird.
only thing there is Melody of Memories.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Like that's gonna take a while. But I remember that what was it? Um I mean, yeah, I don't see like the reason why not to include Kingdom Hearts, unless it's something to do with just the sheer accessibility of like certain games onto the Switch. Um, they're maybe trying to like improve on it, but I haven't heard anything about like a port for the Switch. But I have a feeling that it might happen in between now and whenever we get news on a new Kingdom Hearts.
Yep. And then there's also Persona's got a bunch of announcements coming.
Yeah, so recently, what was it? Persona like had like some special like thing going on. I think it has something to do with more music stuff. But I believe they also announced like a new Persona game just in general, just for people to
Oh,
just think about.
they've got a whole slew of announcements coming.
Okay.
The first one coming in September, I think they said.
Damn. Well, they deserve it. They did like wonders with Persona 5 and then they added to Royal and that didn't slow things down. They had well the Strikers as well, so which is now it's strange that Persona 5 is not like on Switch either, but
Or Xbox.
I know, rip. We'll see.
I'm sure one of the announcements will be a port to other consoles,
That'd be really nice, yeah.
like a Persona collection.
Ooh. Nice. I like that.
And of course, I'm sure the last announcement will be Persona 6.
Yeah. Persona 6. We're in Mexico.
Color reveal.
Yeah. I've only seen like the cover they've been like showing off. I think it was for like 25th anniversary and just shows like all the protagonists. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool. Joker's like literally on the bottom right.
Persona 3 was blue. Persona 4 was yellow. Persona 5 was red.
Yeah. Persona 6 is translucent. It's like, well, you know.
It's just the white background you'd see in Photoshop with the font.
The CD disc, you just pull out like the art of it, and that's it.
Just the checkered, transparent background.
The transparent background, and there's the CD disc in the back. Now that space in between, where it's at. My God.
And they could also announce, they could announce another fighting game.
Ooh, a Persona 5 Arena. Oh my God. Who was it? There's someone in the group. I think Phil mentioned it. Like there's someone who like in that group, who's like really good at like Persona 4 Arena and should never challenge her to Persona 4 Arena. Ever.
It's Cat.
Oh, was it Cat? Damn.
No, I have no idea. I'm just assuming.
No, because whenever I think of Cat, I think of Bratz Rock Angels. I was like,
oh no,
it's not even like because of proficiency. It's just because of thing.
just a thing.
Just a thing. Bratz Rock Angels.
Bratz Rock Angel.
But you know what? Phil would play that game first over Balan Wonderworld. Tell you what, it's a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out.
You know, you have Master Blaster 03 coming at the end of this month.
It is, yeah, but it'll probably take a while for my physical copy to arrive. So it is what it is. But
that's right, because you bought physical instead of digital.
Yeah, it's gonna have like also like I ordered like a sleeve, so like 1, 2, and 3 can like all just be together and that just be a unit. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be nice. I look forward.
Aren't they selling them as a collection?
Yeah, they also have like the huge collection. If you just never got like physicals for like 1 and 2, like you might as well just get 3, and that's like a whole bundle. And I would have been down for that. I would have been down for that. If only I knew ahead of time.
I mean, you could have just canceled your pre-order for 3 and then just gotten the collection.
Nah, because like at that time I already got like physicals for 1 and 2, and so I didn't want to like have like 3 get all the blessings in the world and 1 and 2 just simply like sit as separate things. I would have like preferred if they were all just all in one, like as a standard box, or like a whole collection for all 3. I know that
kind of like the Kingdom Hearts remixes.
Essentially, yeah. Like if there was the it would have been those situations like where if I collected all Kingdom Hearts games, like for example, and then versus the story like or Kingdom Hearts Complete Edition, I would have like either went with either or, but never like something in between where like, oh, Kingdom Hearts 3 has like this entire pack for it by itself, and then there's 1 and 2. I mean, maybe my opinion would have changed, but like with Blaster Master Zero, I was like, I I just recently got 1 and 2 together, but I never like considered getting like the special editions from like limited run like at the time. And now I kind of want it now that I see 3. Damn. I'm so invested with those characters.
Hey man, if you're invested in the story, good for you.
Yeah, like I really like it's kind of simplistic on like the beginning first game because of course it's just we don't know what to expect like with sales and whatnot, but like Inti Creates noticed that and they were like, "Oh, let's make a sequel." And so they made 2 and now they made 3 and they made a lot of improvements on 2. So seeing 3, I look forward to seeing how they build it up like gameplay wise, but just kind of like add to the story because at that point like it's dealing with biomutants like across like the universe, but it's also still a love story between Jason and Eve. Like, let's see, love story or the fate of the universe.
¿Por qué no las dos?
You can have both. Obviously, I've invested in one of those a little bit more so. But oh
This is a
god,
love story.
yes, because they showed the cover, like an alternative cover of those two embracing, and you can see those goddamn wedding rings right there, and you're like, I see that. How you gonna do this to me? Now I gotta like invest in everything. But I'm looking forward to it.
I'm being lick attacked by a sausage.
God. Cute dogs, cute dogs. Oh yeah, there was that dog like in the plaza that we were at, getting a lot of attention. Such a cute dog. I don't think about like what that breed was. It was like it had curly hair and had a tricolor like patch to it. It looked like maybe like those Cavalier King Charles ones.
And my brother's dog is half that and half Cody.
Half Cody. Yeah, half Cody.
Half Lhasa.
Yes. What else is there? Gaming stuff. And I kind of just want to do this to show off and show it off because it looks super cool, but let me just show what I got. I don't have the amiibo. I was gonna say like I don't have the amiibo for it, and now I'm starting to consider a little bit. But like aside from the amiibo, we got Skyward Sword HD here. Just came in today. It was supposed to show up like yesterday, but it's okay. And then the Joy Cons, which like I'm super happy about. Actually, it doesn't do too much justice like looking at like from the viewfinder, but we got blue and we got purple over here. And the designs are like kind of crazy. Oop. They're kind of crazy. Oh my god. Whoa, can you see me? I could have sworn I just saw like a viewfinder of me. And there is. But yeah, it looks it's like, damn, this looks super cool. I love the added like art around the circle pads and the Pacific like icon like surrounding like both the buttons and the D-pad and a little bit like Zelda stuff like in the bottom here, but altogether it just looks really cool. And I think it was worth the wait because I know that there was a bunch of like different Switch versions and I was like, I don't need it. Like I think the Animal Crossing one like really got to me and I was really thinking about it, but having seen like some aside from a color difference, but like some like additional like art like added to it, I think it was worth like waiting out the whole like 3 to 4 years. But it's got me thinking like, you know, other than the design, it's kind of the same Joy-Con. Maybe I should have like gotten like some customized shells for my other ones, like in the meantime. And I had considered that for a little bit. There's D brand, if you ever wanted to like make your own like have your own Animal Crossing one without like getting the whole package of Animal Crossing. But I was like, and I never really like pulled the trigger on that one. But now I'm kind of considering it because right now, um, the Joy Cons I have are literally strapped to like the Wii Fit stuff, or not the Wii Fit, the Ring Fit stuff. So here's that one, and whatchamacallit it, the leg strap here just has the other Joy-Con attached to it. So it's pretty much their permanent residence. Till further notice.
Till further notice.
Till further notice. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing through Skyward Sword again. It's been, I wouldn't say it's been 10 years for me, but definitely when Dennis was still like in town, I remembered that for the times I went over to his house, I like went through the game as fast as humanly possible just so I can like get through the end. And I eventually did, but of course I overlooked a bunch of things. So I look forward to like taking my time on that one. Not sure if I'll stream it or not. I think it'll just be like a just free hands-on one for me, like on the first go around, and maybe we'll see something about master mode later. And which is now making me think about Breath of the Wild again. And I was like, damn. And there's the thing to note is that um, Skyward Sword is kind of one of the first 60 frames per second like Zelda games that we got like on like a standard like mainline console, I believe. I'm not sure about like the remakes for like Ocarina and Majora's Mask. I forget like how those run, but yeah, this one's like the full 60 frames. Apparently, there's drops like in certain sequences, but it's understandable when you see it. But um, especially with motion control, yeah, this is definitely needed 60 frames. But man, but thinking about 60 frames makes me think about what was it, Monster Hunter Stories 2, how that like underperforms, and it looks really good, but I'm like, oh no, underperforms. Damn, if only. So anyway,
Getting licked by a sausage dog.
meanwhile, Mark's side, help. But actually,
She
you know,
just
oh,
she just wants so much love.
dogs are really sweet like that, man. I'll get one eventually.
Her mama's in Florida for 2 weeks, so if I was to tell her what Petey's doing right now, she'd be like, Petey.
That's fair,
Petey,
actually.
like, Petey, remember your manners.
Understandable.
She said, no.
Dogs be like that. But I think the last thing I want to bring up before we call and prep for D&D session 0 is the Loki season 1 finale. Mark, have you watched that finale yet?
We're planning on watching it tonight.
Oh, okay, got you. I won't give any spoilers about it, but it's one of those where like they definitely knew they were having like a season 2, and so they didn't really want to like wrap it up like the way they wanted to for like WandaVision or like Falcon and Winter Soldier. Um, so this is definitely like, this is not the end. There's no happy ending to it. It is, you're just going into the next season.
It's like, well, here we go.
Yeah. But people analyzing the last episode, it kind of makes you sad because like it's one of those things where like you understand Loki, he's supposedly the untrustworthy character, but the Loki that we have grown up with now has learned to trust, and even if he says he's untrustworthy, we pretty much just trust him to a fault. And I think Mobius feels the same way now. But Sylvie's like the she's like the variant, the variant. And the last episode kind of just like unloads you with a bunch of like exposition, well, not exposition, but just like the context of everything. So you get that story and how the Lokis try to figure that out. And whatchamacalls it, how they both individually like think of a solution for it, and they don't really find like a resolution at the end. It just kind of happens. So that's all I can really say. I think that I love, especially like if you love Loki as a character like Sephi does, or have a general interest in Loki. So far it's been like really, really, really good. And I don't know how long it's gonna take them to make season 2, but take as much time as they need, because
Apparently, Tyrone Magnus didn't like the finale.
did he not?
Apparently, and he's getting shit for it. I was like, if the man didn't like it, just let him not like it.
Yeah. If anything, I would have liked to know like what specific things about it didn't he not like. I know that for me personally, like I can only see it as like a season 1 instead of like a show. So that does come into factor of like how I view it and review it, but otherwise like I generally enjoy it for like what it's worth. And sure, like certain points about it, like as far as the characters, make you feel like kind of like a little sad inside, but that's part of like getting attached to a character and seeing how they go about doing things. So
I mean, my brother. I asked my brother, but he already confirmed it to me. I was like, I was like, I knew that was who. I knew that was who behind it was. I knew that was who. I knew that was who was behind it.
okay, so all I can say, um, as a little hint of a spoiler, but one that you can be prepared for is jump scare. Just be prepared for one jump scare. Uh, and that's it. But there's definitely some sadness to feel for like this finale. That's pretty much it.
After that, isn't it just Marvel's What Ifs that are next?
But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing like Chad's bits here, as his last like lines for Black Panther. The fact that he had that prepped, and though you know the context of it, right? Like he done this earlier before he passed away, but it almost feels like
Oh, he actually recorded lines for What If.
yeah, he did. And
Oh
so
man,
it does feel like that Chad, even in death, his legacy still goes on.
because they have in the Avengers game, they're having the guy who plays Kratos voice him.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I heard about like Kratos being Black Panther for a bit and didn't know the full context, but I was like, that's I can see that.
The voices will certainly fit.
I think the voice will definitely fit. I think. Well, I kind of want like a little less of the like the low like register and a little bit higher, but I think the dude can do it. I just haven't
I mean,
really heard it.
just imagine Kratos with an African accent.
That's hard to imagine. Holy shit.
Boy, boy, what do you think you are doing? What do you think you are doing, boy?
God, I was thinking like, boy, why are you running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
And I hear Atreus like yelling the same way. Oh god.
Why are there so many golden memes from just African shows or African news?
Because they just say it how it is.
Why are you gay?
Like, why are you running? No, why are you running?
Why are you gay?
Reminds me of like LeBron
James.
So they just say it how it is.
I mean, have you ever seen the one that I'm talking about? Where it's like, why are you gay?
I don't know that one.
He just straight up asks the dude, why are you gay?
Well, if it's an honest question, then it's an honest question. But I can understand like why that can be viewed as like very funny. Accents in general are just funny.
It's just the fact. It's the question. Why?
Why are you gay? It's a fully loaded question. So I guess we'll start at the beginning. I love it with just like a really frank response for it.
It all started the day he was born.
Well, it started when I was born. God, that was a gross thing from SpongeBob too.
It really was.
God, they were all like amalgamated into one unit.
Yeah.
Ew. Wait, what? I feel like I was gonna say something else. Not. Now we've pretty much finished up on Loki, but we were talking about Kratos for a little bit.
Being the voice of T'Challa in Black Panther.
It'll be interesting to see that voice.
Yeah, for the video game.
Yeah. Also, I haven't heard anything about like God of War like 2. So
Oh yeah, Ragnarok.
I'm looking forward to it. Also, speaking of Ragnarok, but not like Ragnarok anymore. What was it? Thor: Love and Thunder. I remember like a couple weeks back they finished up production as far as filming and stuff, and I was like, ooh, I cannot wait. I want to see like where the comedy bits go and how it gets interwoven into like some dramatic stuff.
Right. I
Because
mean, there's a whole lot they could do. Like Thor Ragnarok is what made Thor a much better character.
yeah, and you know like
And
Chris knew like that was the thing that they needed to do for Thor going forward.
make him more lighthearted and funny.
Yeah. And I think under the context of him just going crazy looking for those goddamn power like those stones, I think it fits. As Guardians of the Galaxy back together again.
As
You
Guardians of the Galaxy back together again.
know this is my ship. Don't touch my stuff. I know.
Oh, I know. Don't forget, during the final fight, he was still fat,
He was still fat.
but he looked badass.
He was melted ice cream. He looked like melted ice cream.
How do I look? You look like melted ice cream. That had me laughing for like half an hour in the theater.
Yeah. I think that considering the screenshots they had of like them wrapping up on shoot, I think Thor just kind of slims down again. I'm not sure like at the beginning, but probably near the end, right?
He ate the salad.
He eats the salad that mom suggests before she goes. Good on him. Oh my god, they need to have him just eat a salad at the very opening of Thor: Love and Thunder.
Title drop.
I'm starting to notice them like just like adding like self-referencing themselves again.
Isn't he supposed to be in Guardians 3?
Yeah, but of course he's not gonna play like a huge role. He's just because of the fact that he's on the same ship, he's gonna be like dealing with the same circumstances. But
He's going to be a character.
if he's involved the same way as every other character in Civil War was, then I'm totally game for that.
Yeah, that means he's actually going to have it. It's not. It's definitely not a minor role.
I know, right? Like, I think they just like land on like a rando like planet, and Thor's like, "I'll just stay here.
I'll just stay here.
I'll practice this
Oh,
guitar while you're at it.
I'll guard the ship.
I'll guard this ship."
Rabbits, would you care to join me?
Oh, before I forget, when you watch the season finale of Loki, pay attention to that jump scare, and then immediately think about Ragnarok and Korg saying, "Piss off, ghost."
Piss off, goose.
Did you see the bit like where Deadpool is with Korg and they're doing a reaction
They're reacting.
to? Yeah, I just saw it randomly. I was like, wait, does Deadpool do this? Like, does he do it consistently? And he just does it for a little bit, but I was like, okay.
Deadpool reacts. He's got a special guest called.
Hi, I'm Korg. I'm made of rocks. Thank you for having me,
Korg.
Mr. Pool. Shame that you're dead.
Shame that you're dead.
My God. And then when I think of Korg, I think about like their Fortnite session.
Thor, Thor. He's back.
He's back.
New Master
64. Noob Master.
Noob Master.
Oh, new Master, this is Thor, the God of Thunder. My God. They really laid in on those jokes.
Noob Master Thor. He's back again. It's Noob Master 69. Noob Master.
We got beer on the ship. What kind?
What kind? As we see Duck Dynasty Thor with the sunglasses.
Yeah. Tony's over here like, out of my way, Lebowski.
He really did. He straight up, if you Google Duck Dynasty, he looks just like one of the guys from Duck Dynasty.
Oh my God.
Looking like a fat ZZ Top.
Oh man. Oh shoot, we should probably wrap up on the podcast just so we have some time before D&D, and I think we're well like over the hour session or Mark. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. A fun conversation, Mark.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen as far as next week. It's just really whatever events pop up will pop up. But yeah, all right, we're gonna end here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of DangIT Podcast. This is episode 369. My name is Justin.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Hashtag bye everyone. Peace.
Peace.